All right, here we go. Coming down in 3, 2, boom. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Dom, and I'm here with Anthony. This is the A Word.
Hey.
We are back again, another week, another day, another dollar. We are getting into some exciting news here because Apple's keynote's coming up here in the next... the not this week, but the week after that, we'll have the Apple keynote that will bring us, the iPhone events, it'll bring us the iPhone event, and then the following month there is expected to be a separate event for iPads. So, with that in mind, the hype is starting to what am I trying to say here?
Hype up.
Yeah, it's starting to get hyped a little bit, I guess.
Get hypey.
That's right around the corner. So here's the thing, and the question I want to ask you guys here right off the bat is, out of all of Apple's, and I've already asked this before, but I'm gonna ask it again because I love hearing what you guys have to think or have to say about this, and I love hearing you guys' opinions. Coming up next month, will Apple, or when Apple releases, the iPad Mini 2 possibly, the iPad 5, iPhone 5S, iPhone 5C, whatever, all those devices that are rumored to be out there, which one are you going to be purchasing? Which one do you want to purchase? That is the question here. That is what we want to know. That's the very important mystical question of the day. So keep that in mind. Leave your answers in the comments section, and
right down below.
Yeah, for those of you that are listening to this podcast via audio, go ahead and check out the article for this podcast. You can leave a comment there as well. But here we are again, and we are happy to be here. And like I said, Apple's keynote is not this week, but the week after that. It's on rumored until Apple sends out the invitations, but it's pretty much a go for September 10th. Interestingly enough, we do have Samsung's keynote, the Unpacked keynote, coming up on September 4th, which is, what is that? That's like Tuesday, right? Is September 4th Tuesday? Yeah.
September 4th is Wednesday.
Wednesday, okay. Yes. So Wednesday, we have the Samsung Unpacked keynote, right? And I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, actually. Yeah, Unpacked. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet or not, but we have... there's been some photos that leaked of Samsung's smartwatch. And... Dom said hi to me. I just saw that. It's okay. Okay, so anyway, let's go to Venture. If you guys want to cruise over this while we're talking about it, go to venturebeat.com, venturebeat.com, and you can click on the first little featured article, Samsung's Galaxy Gear smartwatch. That's what it's called, right? So Samsung has this keynote on Wednesday, and they're going to officially unveil this Galaxy Gear smartwatch, right? So, oh my gosh, Beach Ball of Death, really? What's wrong with your website? Seriously. Okay. Oh, you're having a JavaScript error.
Java.
Interesting. I'm going to stop that script. All right, so we have the Samsung event, and they're going to announce this Galaxy Gear smartwatch, right? And then they're also expected to announce the Note 3, the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 or whatever it's called. And which I will actually try to bring you guys some video coverage on if you're interested in that kind of thing. I definitely am curious about the smartwatch, and I'll probably end up picking one up. So stay tuned for that video in the future. I kind of want to see how it stacks up against the current smartwatch competition. Now, here's the interesting thing. If Samsung releases this smartwatch, this month sometime, I mean, is Apple even ready to release a smartwatch? You know what I mean? Like, we've heard rumors, right? But we haven't had any definitive evidence.
Yeah.
There hasn't been any like, oh, okay, here's this this leaked wristband for the for the iWatch. You know what I mean? We haven't actually seen anything like that yet. And let's see here. So the Samsung Galaxy Gear, if you look at this picture on venturebeat.com, it's pretty bulky. I mean, it literally looks like they took a Samsung Galaxy S3 Mini or whatever and put it on somebody's wrist. Somebody's rich wrist, that's for sure. No, I'm just kidding. But it's very, very big, I guess.
It looks like a shrunken down phone.
Yeah, it really does look like a shrunken down phone, and
Right.
it's kind of awkward.
What time is it?
It's very awkward. And so go check out this picture, you guys. And by the way, for those of you watching the video, we are working on getting a good way to show you guys the stuff that I'm looking at here on the screen in real time. So stay tuned for that. I'm trying to get a good workflow together so that you guys can have the best quality here, the best audio, the best video. I'm trying to work all this all together because I haven't been doing live streams very long, so it's kind of a new thing. I haven't been doing video live streams. Sorry, we've been doing audio live streams since we started this podcast, but video is definitely a new thing. So this Galaxy smartwatch, if Samsung releases this thing, it could go one of two ways. Either it's an excellent hit and everybody loves it and they're miles ahead of Apple now, or it fails miserably, which is also a good possibility. Somebody wants to know what case you're using, and by the way, that's my brother. He's not.
You can follow me at Anthony Esposito on Twitter.
Oh, bam! Little shout
out. This is the LifeProof iPad mini case, and it's black.
Oh yeah, I forgot you had that.
Yeah, so it's really nice. It's really cool. It's waterproof. I love it. You should get one.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. So yeah, it could, that Galaxy Gear Watch could go one of two ways. Either it's going to be great, or it's going to be a failure because Samsung rushed it out maybe to beat Apple to the punch. Which is a possibility, I guess. It's a very good possibility that they're trying to beat Apple to the smartwatch game.
Yeah.
Because it's friendly. Well, I don't know about friendly, but it's competition for sure. So, maybe they'll be
competition.
Maybe it'll actually turn out good and it'll be a good thing for Samsung. I think it would be in Samsung's favor to make it compatible with iOS. I mean, I think they would, if they went out of their way to provide an app and actually made it, sorry, my back is itchy for you guys that are watching. If Samsung went out of its way to make this watch compatible with iOS devices, I think that it would be a really good thing for Samsung. Okay, here's a good point, okay? We had a comment here. Smartwatches are a gimmick. In my opinion, they aren't going to catch on. So I do agree with you on a lot of that. I think that, yes, smartwatches are kind of gimmicky. On the other side of things, though, on the other side of that gimmick, people weird enough, there's a market for smartwatches, a huge market for smartwatches. I mean, you can just go look up any Kickstarter or Indiegogo campaign that involves a smartwatch, and you'll see that these people actually have been funded for every smartwatch, almost every smartwatch project that was out there. So even though they are kind of gimmicky, and I'm not going to disagree with you there at all. That was from Shishamilove.
Yes.
Shishamilove. Oh yeah. That I'm gonna agree with you a lot on that. They are kind of gimmicky, but there's a huge market for them. So at what point does the gimmick turn into like a real desire from the community, from the market? When you have such a high demand for them, the gimmick also almost turns into something that's really desirable. I definitely agree with you there. What were you saying?
I think it's also the fact that, gimmicks turn into fad. Everybody wants it if it's out there, and everybody has it. Everyone else wants it, kind of thing. But as far as, I think as far as the gimmick part of it, I think it's kind of a nerdy thing to have and to want. But it's a really cool nerdy thing, in my opinion. Maybe that's just because I'm a nerd. I don't know.
There are definitely uses for it, okay?
Yes.
And there are definitely times where it can come in handy, but there's a very small group of people that would actually logically be able to use a smartwatch other than the fact that they can just say, oh, I got a smartwatch. You know what I mean? Like, just have something on their wrist that they can show off or whatever, or do cool tricks on or stuff like that.
I like what Jake's text said. It looked like a S4 taped to a wrist.
Yeah, like the S4 Mini or whatever it is. Yeah, I mean it's very bulky. Now here, it's important to note the bulk of that of that phone that that you guys saw on VentureBeat. If you go to VentureBeat.com, if you haven't yet, go check that out. But the smartwatch that's showing on there, they do say that it is a prototype that was sent to developers and that it's not necessarily going to reflect the final design. Things can be tweaked. But yes, in those leaked photos, boy, does that thing look bulky, man. It looks like a pager with an LCD attached to your wrist, like a touchscreen pager.
No, there's no reported buttons on that, right?
I don't know. Honestly, I didn't read through this article a whole bunch. Such a bad reporter I am, but
yeah.
Yeah. The thing
it definitely doesn't look like there's any actual buttons on there. It looks like it's all touchscreen.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks to be a lot of touchscreen action going on there. I was just thinking of something funny when we brought this up a second ago. Wouldn't it have been funny if we got to the point in time, an in-between point between the smartphone and the pager where we had touchscreen pagers? Do you think somebody should make maybe Samsung
touchscreen pager?
Samsung should make the Galaxy S pager. And it's straight up no phone. No. It's just a pager with apps.
Yeah.
And so you can use these apps to do certain things on your pager. I think that would be a great idea for Samsung.
Isn't that kind of like an iPod?
Samsung, I just made you $1 million. Okay? Do that. So, yeah, okay, here's a good point. Okay? Here's a great point. And this is from the Jackie Chang. Mm-hmm. The tablet was a gimmick once. Very, very true. The tablet was just as gimmicky. Okay, think about this. When Apple put out the iPad originally, everybody's like, well, that's just a giant iPod Touch. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, that's all that is. It's a blown up iPod Touch. It's nothing special. Very, very true. You know, that's what people said. But look at how great and popular the iPad is now. So it depends on how it's marketed.
Didn't Apple put out, I forgot what it was called, but it was something like a tablet long time ago, or they had a prototype for it, and it never really made it to the market, and it was way ahead of its time.
There's been a lot of stuff like that from Apple. I mean, there's definitely been a lot of different things that have been way ahead of its time as far as that goes, and never actually saw the light of day, even up to this point in time. But yeah, I think the tablet was once where the smartwatch is right now.
And to answer the question that the Jackie Chang put up there, is it going to be 4G, Bluetooth, or connected to a smartphone? I believe they're all usually Bluetooth connected to a smartphone, with that capability involved. But I don't think you necessarily have to have a smartphone to have these watches that are coming out.
I mean, to take advantage of the core features.
Fully advantage, yes.
Yeah, you do need. Okay, here's a question really quick that came in from Twitter. Do we know if a new iPod Touch is going to be released? Okay, here's what I do know, just based on Apple's track record. They're gonna update it with a new processor. They're gonna make it a little bit better marginally, and that's about it. We're not gonna get a new form factor of the iPod Touch. Apple's probably sticking with that iPod Touch design for a while, because it matches all their other. They're still trying to slim out the rest of the product line, like the iPad. The iPad 5 is going to be slimmed down to match the iPad Mini and the iPod Touch 5G. So I think the 6th generation iPod Touch is just going to be nothing more than a slight processor bump, and also possibly a camera bump in maybe to 8 megapixels, something like that. Other than that, though, I don't think that we are going to see much more out of that device. So very marginal update for the iPod Touch 5th generation or the 6th generation iPod Touch is going to be a marginal update. Another thing in from Twitter, what is your brother's Twitter that is with you in the live video? And that is at Anthony Esposito. And I will go ahead and... Oh, you're welcome. And I will go ahead and link that in the description of the video for you guys in case you want to go check it out. I'll be sure to link that here in a little bit. But I think he's going to put it in the comments, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. He's putting it in the comments. So there you go. So here's something. Let's see here. The prototype was called the Newton. Microsoft actually had a Windows XP tablet but it didn't have a touch-friendly. Yeah, and XP would be horrible for a touch-friendly UI. Seriously. I mean, Windows 8 is bad for a touch-friendly UI.
How about Millennium?
Yeah, what about Media Center Edition? They should have came out with a Media Center Edition tablet. How about that? Okay, so check it out. Real quick, back on the keynote thing. Samsung, September 4th, their Galaxy Gear smartwatch, and then the Note 3 is expected to be unveiled. I'm just going to put this prediction out there right now. Maybe I'll be wrong, maybe not. I think on September 4th, 2013, Apple is going to send out invitations to their iPhone event during the Samsung keynote.
That would be funny.
Boom goes the dynamite. Steal the thunder. That's what's going to happen. I don't know for sure, but that's my prediction.
Do you think that would steal thunder from Samsung?
Yes.
Yeah?
Because here's the thing, okay?
What do you guys think?
Here's the thing. Apple, they do this. They've done this before. Would not be the first time they've done something like this. So Apple is going to, Samsung's going to have their keynote, and now we present the Samsung Note 3, and they're going to lift it up, and then immediately the tech world's going to be like, oh, Apple's keynote confirmed for September 10th, 2013, blah, blah, blah. So that's what's going to happen. I'm going to call that right now.
Maybe
I'm wrong.
Madamus HD on YouTube was asking if Apple's seriously going to make a gold/champagne color iPhone.
Yes.
It's pretty confirmed.
Yeah. I like it.
I like it too. I almost love it.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
That's not too much.
Yeah, that is too much. It's kind of creeper stalker.
Creeper. I love iPhones. I'm sorry.
He loves
if
pizza
anybody,
too.
I am just pizza.
Yeah, but he
Never
loves
mind.
it. Yeah, never mind with that one.
Anyways,
Okay, here's a good I want to get on this topic actually. I wish Apple would step up their game with the new iPhone instead of just adding new colors and minor hardware in iOS. Now here's the thing.
True that, yo.
I do agree with you. Now here's the other side of it though. Okay, check it out. If you you're buying an iPhone, right? If let's say Apple changed the design of their hardware every year, how much would that suck and decrease the production of accessories for iOS devices if they did that every year? So think about it. Manufacturers would have to redesign their accessories every single year. Right now, they only have to do it every other year because of Apple's, semi-consistent pattern with that. Right now, accessory manufacturers only have to update their accessories or create new accessories every other year because that's how Apple does their design changes with the iPhone. And most of the time, they keep all the other tablets looking the same, for quite a while. So if Apple did a new design every single year, you'd have to go buy a new set of accessories every single year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't try to blame that on Apple, because if you wanted them to change the design every year, it's kind of technically the accessory manufacturer's problem for not being on top of the ball and getting their stuff out there soon enough. Now, I agree. I think it would be cool if we got different designs and stuff like that. But on the same token, look at the Samsung Galaxy S blah. That phone, that series of phones, all the ones in between that, how much different are they from the previous generations? Samsung releases a bunch of smartphones, and a lot of them are crap. The Samsung Galaxy series is actually, their flagship top model. It's the one that runs good. It does everything pretty well. That phone has not really strayed away from its design ever. It's pretty much been consistently the same. I mean, there's things that are updated on it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
There's minor things that are different on each one on the outside, but we're talking minor things here. The same thing you see with the iPhone. Coincidence? No, because they want to kind of keep things more or less the same just to make it a little bit easier on accessory manufacturers, because if you lose the accessory manufacturing market, if there's not a lot of accessories for your phone, it's gonna suck. I mean, people like to accessorize their smartphones. I think, and after a long story short, I think that is why Apple chooses to keep the same design, and change it every 2 years or whatever. So that they can help out accessory manufacturers, make it a little easier for them, so these people don't have to redesign accessories every single year, which makes sense. Yeah, two guys on a couch talking about tech, basically my life. Our life too, buddy. Our life too. Except usually it's just me in here by myself talking about tech. He comes over on Sundays and we do the podcast. Normally I'm just talking to myself and it looks a little crazy, so I don't live stream it for you guys. But yeah. So okay,
I think usually you're talking to a product.
Here we go. A question here, or a statement. I don't know what this is yet. I think Apple was pressured into adding the latest features and upgrades hardware because of Android. If Android hadn't started with the screen and processor race, now Apple is just catching up. You know what? I think, okay, as far as updating processor specs and RAM and everything inside of smartphones, Apple is, if you want to go in as far as technicalities go, like actual living, breathing technology in the world right now, Apple's far behind on technology. There's no doubt about that. You know, it's not. I'm not going to lie to you about it. They're behind. But here's the thing, okay? Even while they're behind, their iOS, their mobile operating system, still continues to run flawlessly on the low tech that they put in their phones.
Yeah.
So that goes to show you how optimized iOS is to run better. I mean, you can put Android even 4.2.3, you know, on a tablet such as the new Nexus 7, and you still get sluggish areas.
Yeah.
iOS continues to run, and I'm not like, you know, showboating iOS around here for how great it runs, but I'm just saying that it goes to show you that they have a strategic plan and they don't need to spend all this money on the latest processors and do all this fancy stuff. You know, a lot of, people on paper, all these fancy specs look awesome, but they do nothing for you if they don't add to the performance of your device. iOS is optimized so it would probably run, you know, the same on one processor or another. I mean, obviously, when you get as far back as like the iPhone 4, you do start seeing performance issues, but you know, that's why they kind of give the boot to these older devices as they move up in versions of iOS. So you have like, you know, like the iPad 1 is stuck at iOS 5. iOS 6 is not compatible with the first generation iPad. And you know, it may be that you could get it on there. Ken Films HD. Oh, hey, it is Ken. Hey, Ken. I wish companies would start adding the Moto X feature that allows you to fully customize it. You know what? I think that's a great point, Ken. Now here's the thing. This is the thing that kind of annoys me about Apple. I wish they would allow that too. Allow us to customize the little glass inlays on the iPhone and allow us to customize the bezel and the volume buttons and all that crap. But here's the sad part. Apple knows you'll buy it regardless of what they put on it. And that's just the truth. I mean,
it is the truth.
Coming from somebody that's an Apple guy, you know what I mean? Like, they won't do it because A, they don't care to put in that much time into manufacturing and all this stuff, and they have their plants in China and it's all working out very well. And two, the philosophy is if we build it, they will come.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. They're just going to leave it.
I'm sure Tim Cook has that over his desk.
Yeah, right. I know. Seriously, it's like, oh.
We build, they come.
Yeah. So, I mean, that is definitely what I think about it. I don't think that Apple will ever do something like that, and I will be completely shocked if they do. As a matter of fact, I was going to make some stupid crazy wager, but I'm not going to do that because
I mean, if they ever did this, do you think that they would do it with iOS 7? I mean, I know that they haven't implemented.
No, I don't think it would have anything to do with the version of iOS here.
No,
I think that what he's talking about. I don't know if you know about the Moto X, Anthony, where they have the Motorola has the Moto X phone, and they have a new web app through AT&T only right now called the Moto Maker or whatever like that. And you can go in and design. Here, let me find it. You can go in and design your own.
Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, you can design your own. You can choose
way
a color.
More custom.
Yeah. You can choose a color for the back panel. You can choose a color for the front bezel. You can choose a color for the buttons and then the ring around the camera. Yeah, no, they're not going to do that. You know what I mean? Because it's sad. I mean, it's sad, and then at the same time, I get it. why they they don't want to put that much effort to it. Motorola is using the Moto X, I think, in my opinion. No, that's the thing about the Moto X.
Yeah.
That's its thing, is that you can customize it. You know what I mean? You can customize it. You can have it look as cool as you want. And then outside of that, they have all these, cool, almost gimmicky features that actually do work rather well. As far as the reviews I've watched on it, MKBHD did a really good review on the Moto X. Probably one of the best smartphone reviews I've ever seen. And I watched that review, and there's a lot of cool features in there that are really gimmicky, but at the same time, they're very, very freaking logical. So that's what I think about.
You know what?
About that.
Shisha My Love. I love what they.
Shisha My Love.
Shisha My Love. Yeah, I love this. It says specs don't matter. It's all about the experience, and that is completely true. It is all about the experience.
Yeah.
And the experience on the iPhone, the iOS devices, all over. It's wonderful. That's just my opinion. That's just one guy's opinion. But I don't think a lot of people would disagree with that.
Here's another thing from Ken here in the chat. Also, I missed the time where there weren't as many rumors regarding the new iPhone, so it would be a surprise at the keynote. You know what? I kind of missed that too. I'm part of the problem. I guess, I am part of that problem now. But I do miss the surprising things. Now, here's the thing, though. They do always have... it may not be the iPhone. I think that there's certain areas that I really truly think Apple does control leaks with things.
Yeah.
And there's also things that we don't know about that just pop up. You know what I mean? that just actually happen and it's not like a one more thing kind of scenario, but there are things that happen that we don't know about that come out, I mean, geez, for the longest time, there were so many rumors about an iPad mini, but we never saw any factual evidence up until right before a little bit before the keynote is when we actually saw something that proved or semi-proved, I guess, unofficially proved the iPad mini's existence. So there are things like that. And what? I lost my train of thought. What?
Oh, I was just gonna change the subject, but
on what?
Somebody, Madamus HD was asking if hold on, let me get
Windows
to it real
8.1 going to be a good update. I don't know.
If the 5C or the current iPhone, I'm kind of confused with the question.
Here, hold on, let me look for it. Let me look for the question.
He just says get the iPhone 5C or just get the current iPhone. If you're asking what we think that you should get both.
That's stupid. Okay. Here's the thing, okay? Now, let me tell you, though.
He'll be more reasonable about it.
Yeah. I think, obviously, okay, here's the rumors, right? I can tell you what I know as far as rumors go. The iPhone 5C is basically going to be an iPhone 5.
Napa?
It's going to be an iPhone 5 in a plastic shell. All the specs that are in the iPhone 5 right now are going to be in the 5C, and then you can expect,
Do you think the camera is the same?
I think the camera's going to be the same in the 5C, yes. Actually, you know what? They may...
Maybe not.
Okay, I hope that... Here's what I hope. I hope that Apple makes the camera in the 5S, like a 12, 16 megapixel, something like that, maybe even 10, and then the one in the 5C, the 8 megapixel camera. But if not, if they for some odd, crazy reason don't decide to update the 5S camera, then we'll see the 5 megapixel camera in the 5C. That was a very mouthful of fives and
5C's cameras, yeah.
So, basically that's kind of how I think it's going to go down. Oh, here we go. If Motorola sold as many as Apple did, they probably wouldn't have the customization feature. Very good point there. Yes, Jake's Tech. I think that is very true. That is why, they're trying to sell a new thing, and they're trying to spin a gimmick on it to make people want it. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing at all for Motorola. I think what they did with the Moto Maker and the Moto X and all the gimmicky features that are very logical in it, I think that was a very good idea, and a lot of people are going to buy that smartphone for sure. From what I've heard, the battery life is excellent. It's got an AMOLED display, which has really deep blacks and good contrast and everything. Actually, when you see black on that display, it's not even the display. Those pixels in the display are not even lit. That's what's so cool about it. Now, I wish Apple would do something with that kind of display, but here's the thing with that is those AMOLED displays are way too saturated, I think, and Apple likes accurate color reproduction. So I don't think that they're going to do anything like that until they get an AMOLED display that will accurately reproduce colors as far as their terms go. But let's see. What are they going to do with the prices if the 5C cheaper version of the 5S and there's an old iPhone 5? Okay, I'm kind of up in the air on that one too, but here's my prediction. We will have the 5C as the base model, which will be free on contract. It'll be probably about $350, $400 off contract. We will have the iPhone 5 at the $99 price point, and then we will have the 5S at the $200 price point. Now, if that's the case, if that scenario is real right now, those three, boom, 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 those three phones, I think that the 5C is going to have the 5 megapixel camera.
Exactly. I was just going to say that, yeah.
And that's because it'll give them a distinguishable step up to the 5, and then a distinguishable step up to the 5S. Now, the other alternative to this is that they completely drop the iPhone 5 and you just have the two phones.
Yeah.
You have the $99 on the 5C on contract and $200 for the 5S on contract.
It's really hard to see them doing that.
I don't know,
unless
man.
they just stop calling it an iPhone 5 and change the back, and change a few things out of the phone. Because they've never done that kind of thing before,
Yeah, I mean they've always been they gradually step them down and then they slowly
let them go to the graveyard.
Yeah. So I mean that either one could be the possibility here, but okay, iPad 5 and graphite and champagne like the iPhone 5S. Well, here's the thing. First of all, we have no idea if the iPhone or if the iPad 5 if the iPhone 5S is really going to come in this graphite color. Now, I know I put up a video the other day, actually yesterday about a little bit later than this, actually, a little less than 24 hours ago. I put up a video of the leaked graphite iPhone 5S, and here's the thing, okay? If you guys do this right now for me, please. Anybody that's listening or watching or anything like that, Google leaked iPhone 5 2012, okay? Google that.
Yeah.
And look at the image that you can pull. You could just probably do it Google Images. Let me do this along with you guys.
I'm doing it.
We will go to leaked iPhone 5 2012. And then just click on images on Google. Now, look at these images that pop up, and then you'll find one that looks very similar to the graphite iPhone 5S.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that actual hardware shell was around. That graphite color that you're seeing was around during. Okay, here's one. You can find. That graphite color was around last year when people initially said, oh, hey, look this is the redesigned iPhone when Apple first did the iPhone 5. So the color is very similar on that graphite one. So I don't know. That could be fake. Just my opinion. I'm not going to say anything definitive until Apple, drops the ball on it, but or not drops the ball, but, just kind of poof, here's your graphite. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to say anything until I see that. But I think that the gold is for sure, yes. I don't think that they're going to do the champagne color in the iPad 5 yet, or now, or anything like that, because I think that people want their tablets a little simpler. Retina iPad Mini. I'm jumping all around there, but I just saw two things here for Retina iPad Mini. So, Retina iPad Mini. I'm going to go ahead and guess no.
No.
I'm going to guess no.
I'm gonna guess yes.
Okay, well, there you go. Devil's advocate over here.
Yes.
So, Retina iPad Mini. It's very hard to say. Honestly, I hope that there is.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope Apple doesn't just slap a processor in there. And, we expect that from them already. But I hope that Apple doesn't just slap a processor in there and call it a day. But I think that it might go down that way. Though it could be like last year when we didn't know if the iPad Mini exists until the last minute. And then we saw that there was, we saw like back panels leaked or whatever like that. So maybe this year, right before the October keynote, the iPad keynote that's probably going to happen in October, maybe right before then we get a Retina panel that pops out of nowhere. That actually happened with the third generation iPad when they went Retina with it.
Mm-hmm.
There was like at the last minute or slightly before the actual keynote happened. That was in March of 2000. What was it? 2011? I can't remember. Right before 2012. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
2012.
Anyway.
Last year.
Yeah, right before the I know, right? Right before the keynote, we saw a leaked Retina panel, like several weeks before or something, very close to it, right? And then of course when Apple had the keynote, they announced that it was the Retina thing and it was all awesome and stuff, and so that happened. Maybe that'll happen with the Retina iPad Mini, but right now I'm going to think that there is. Okay, here we go.
Hold on. And I noticed that somewhere in the comments down below, someone had mentioned if about that when it's going to come out and all that stuff. They're going to have a separate keynote for this.
Yeah.
In case any of you were wondering, most likely they're not going to mention it on September 10th.
Yeah,
it's going to be a different time.
Exactly. We're going to have two keynotes, one for iPad and one for iPhone. And then I think at both of the events we'll have smaller like MacBook update and stuff like that. Here's another thing though too here's a good point. If there's, and this is from Yano, I'm sorry, Yano. I can't pronounce Yano. This is from Yano. If there's no Retina, man, Apple is going to have a big problem. The Nexus 7 has become quite competitive. I agree. I have a Nexus 7 over there in front of me. I have a new Nexus 7, and the display is very, very crisp. Now, here's the thing, though. That display is not Retina. It's not technically a Retina display. It's not 4 times the previous pixels. It doesn't have, the pixels are still distinguishable to your eye, which is the point of Retina. So the new Nexus 7 is not Retina. I can see where, high resolution is better than low resolution either way. So yeah, the Nexus 7 looks great. I mean, it has a nice sharp screen. I think that if Apple is going to release an iPad Mini, they're not going to do it with just a high-res display. Yeah. They're not just going to do an iPad Mini 1080p display. You know what I mean? They're going to do it Retina or nothing because that is the brand that they've been building around.
Well, and they are the brand of Retina, in case anybody didn't know.
I mean, they're not going to just do that.
Retina is. I like what. I forgot who was saying it. Someone asked if they thought the iPhone is going to be a 32 gigabyte base model, or the iPad Mini 2. Either way, I don't think that they're going to have that as a base model. I think the 16 gigabyte is pretty solid.
Yeah. Well, I think now here's the thing though. Think about this actually. Flash memory. Those flash memory chips that they use in the iPhones to have those different models, they've come down a lot in price since last year. Mm-hmm. So it is very possible that Apple could start out the iPhone 5S models at 32 gigabytes and go 32, 64, 128.
And that could be another thing about the 5C as well if they do have that.
I think the 5C will only come in a 16 gigabyte flavor.
Yeah.
I don't think... maybe a 32, but I don't think they're going to do any more than that because they're really trying to keep the cost down on this. And keeping the cost down means that they're not going to supply additional components for the iPhone 5C, which will drive up their price. Because you think about it, okay, even if Apple is selling...
They probably have a whole bunch more left.
Well, think about this. Even if Apple is selling 2 versions of the 5C, right? they're paying this money for the 16 gigabyte flash memory chips and the 32 gigabyte flash memory chips. So that impacts the cost of both devices because they're probably including the manufacturing cost into one thing for the iPhone 5C, regardless of what size model you have of that device. It's going to make it more costly for them, and I think that they're trying to avoid that.
Yeah. Hey. Someone, Stone Wallets, asked if the Golf iPhone will be scratched easy or as easy, and there was a video that someone that right, Dom, that
JB Tech 17, yeah,
that did a scratch test.
Yeah, actually, iPod Uplink, I hope you saw that anyways. iPod Uplink did a scratch test for the iPhone 5S, the champagne-colored iPhone 5S, and yeah. Okay, here's the thing, okay? I don't think that necessarily it did like a whole lot better, but here's the kicker, is that the lighter color iPhones are going to show less scratches than the darker iPhone. And I have a black iPhone right here, and I have a silver one as well, and the black iPhone shows it more because underneath that anodized dark aluminum, you have a light aluminum because it's aluminum. Aluminum only comes in that one aluminum color.
Aluminum.
So, yeah, it comes in the aluminum color. So when you get a scratch and you chip away the anodized area, underneath it you have that aluminum color, which is a big contrast difference between the dark that's above it. Now with the silver iPhone or the iPod Touch or the silver iPod Touch, that contrast is less different because the aluminum underneath it is aluminum colored, the same as the body color.
Yeah.
Same goes with the gold one. You're not going to have a huge difference in contrast because it's gold or champagne. It's actually like a more of a yellowish silver color, and it kind of blends in a lot with the aluminum underneath that anodization there. So I think that that's why it fares better in scratch tests. And I would highly recommend, if you can't stand scratches, then I would highly recommend that you get a lighter colored iPhone 5S or an iPhone 5 or whatever, because this guy right here, the black one, it actually does scratch. I mean, it shows scratches a lot easier. I have quite a few scratches on my device. It just scratches all the time. It's pretty crazy. And I would yes, I just threw my iPhone. It's over there on the floor. It's fine.
That's cool.
But it does show scratches a lot easier than the lighter colors, and I'd recommend to get that. Let's check out what's going on here in the iWatch September 10th. No, I don't even think we're gonna see an iWatch this year, to be honest with you.
No.
I think that's probably the last thing on my list that I think will actually happen. I would almost be willing to bet we'll see a Retina iPad mini before an iWatch. That's how much I think that Apple... Yes, they're working on iWatch. I believe that they're working on iWatch, but I don't think it's ready for prime time.
Do you think that it's going to get leaked?
I hope so.
I think it's going to be so...
I hope I get to leak it.
I think it's going to be so locked down that they're not, they're not going to have much to say about it at all.
Well, I hope I get to leak it if it does.
I hope you
get
do
leaked.
too, because I would love to see that.
Yeah. By the way, for anybody that's watched that video that I put up on the leaked champagne iPhone 5S, thank you very much for watching that. It's crazy.
Yes.
It's at 1.8 million views right now, which is completely ridiculous. I never thought it would get that huge. So I mean, it'll probably be approaching 2 million by the end of the week or so. I'd imagine, because it's went up from 1.6 in the last day and a half or so, something like that. So pretty crazy. Thank you guys for watching that video. If you were some of the people that actually watched it, I really appreciate that. And I never thought it would go as crazy viral as it did.
Are you running Mavericks?
No.
No. That answers
Is that a question?
That was a question.
Oh, no. Okay, here's the thing, okay? The only reason... Yeah, did you miss my shout-out, JB Tech? Sorry. The only reason... Dom, JB Tech wants a new shout-out. Well, there's your shout-out. You got it.
You know what?
You got it, dude. You missed it. You're going to have to rewind the video podcast. So anyway, hold on. Back to the...
Hold on.
What?
No, keep going.
Oh, back to the Mavericks thing, right? The Mavericks thing. I don't run beta OS X software because I depend too much on what I do on the computer to worry about beta bugs. So such as things like video editing and like, audio editing and stuff like that. All my programs that I use and all the plugins that I use with them are very OS specific. And if you're just a little hair off and there's a little bug, you're going to have issues. And I do not like messing with my workflow. You know what I mean? I have a workflow and it's great and it works perfect. And once you start introducing beta Mac software, things just go haywire. Plus, I'm not a Mac developer, so I don't really venture into that area or anything like that, nor do I need to. And I would recommend the same for you. Just wait until... Why do we have all these spam comments? Just wait until Apple releases Mavericks, which will probably be in the next month or two. So you'll probably see that drop in late September, October. So keep that in mind. You know what I mean? I just don't like beta software.
It's kind of touchy.
Oh, real quick, if you guys go to macrumors.com, everybody out there, go to macrumors.com right now. The front page of macrumors.com, you'll see new photos of alleged iPhone 5C packaging and manual. Dun dun dun. So, that actually these pictures leaked over the weekend, I believe, and I think it was actually Friday when they leaked. But anyway, they show the iPhone 5C in packaging that looks like the iPod Touch or something like, something similar to that. And then we also do have a manual, an insert that would go into the box like you would get with the iPod Touch. Now this stuff looks
extremely legit.
It looks legit. Now why nobody that leaks these pictures knows how to use a camera, I don't know. But
it almost looks like they set it up to make it look like it's not set up.
I don't understand it. Can we just send like 5,000 high quality 16 megapixel Canon ELPH 110 cameras to China, to these factories, so that when they take these leaked pictures, they can come out good? Is that too much to ask for?
It is.
It looks like they take these things with a low end Logitech webcam. Seriously. Why can't we do this better? Like, come on. I mean, how many years have we been leaking photos for, everybody? Not us, but like just the world.
Let me put it this way. Maybe they think the same way as Apple. We're going to just put it out there and people will love it anyways.
Yeah, it's annoying though.
It is annoying
sometimes. Jake's Tech is he went to macrumors.com and he looked at this article of the iPhone 5C packaging, and as he noticed, there is matching wallpaper. So you have the wallpaper on the background matching the actual device. Now, of course, the wallpaper you're seeing here, that whole thing is the sticker that you have to pull off. But I think, and it was noted actually in another article, I believe on 9to5 Mac, that Apple will probably have a matching colored wallpaper for whatever 5C you get, so that, and it'll actually, man, I do a lot of hand gestures. It'll actually look, I'm going to put my hands under my arms. It will actually look kind of similar to how they did it with the iPod Nano, the 7th generation iPod Nano. So you had the black one, and then you had like 2 or 3 different backgrounds to choose that matched that black iPod Nano. I think that they're going to do the same thing with the 5C, and along with their regular built-in wallpapers, they're going to have some that are specific to that body color, which makes sense. I'm not saying I like it or dislike it either way, but it does make a lot of sense. I like your case on your iPad. Yeah, that's the LifeProof.
Yes,
case.
It's a LifeProof case.
Yeah,
for the Mini. It's really awesome. It's waterproof.
You call it
LifeProof.
a salmon. What am I? No, I did that.
Oh, isn't that how you spell salmon?
Yes. Never mind. Don't even ask.
Salmon.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's really cool. Anyways, the back, I've noticed by using this, the back and the front, they get they're really thin. And
this is a live review right now.
Yeah, and it kind of gets scratched, but it's not anything that's to worry about. So if you
the plastic?
Yeah, so if you see one, the front of it has not been scratched, but the back, there's just a couple scratches here and there. And it's just annoying to me because it's right over the Apple, and I'm just really a stickler for having my Apple being nice and perfect, but that's just me. The front is really awesome. I've noticed that when you use it, when it's being used with it, like in the rain with water drops on it, it can sometimes get kind of hard to use, but using it underwater is not a problem at all.
You can't use it underwater.
Huh?
You can't use that underwater.
What do you mean?
The screen?
The screen.
Yeah, it doesn't work underwater.
It was working for me.
No, it shouldn't have been. You're defying the rules of logic. Because the iPad, and this is why the raindrops screw with it, the iPad is a capacitive touch display. Now, when you get water or liquid on a capacitive display, it sees that as one giant finger because there's electricity in the water, right? And that's how it senses your finger with electricity that's in your body. So when the water covers it, it looks like it's just a giant blob of finger on your display. And that is why when you're doing when you've seen me in the past doing like these life-proof case reviews or any other waterproof case reviews, it's hard to use the display underwater because the water interrupts the electric connection with your finger on the screen. So that is a simple explanation of it, I guess. But, man, I didn't even realize how long we were going for here.
We're going.
Yeah, I know. We've been going for a while. Let's see. Oh, next. Oh, this is actually not from a comment, but I just realized this.
It doesn't add a lot of weight.
Google, I think that also we'll see probably before the end of the year a Nexus 5. The second generation Nexus 4 smartphone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, I don't know why I brought that up, but I think that that's just something to note. So, thumbs up. Yeah, I didn't realize how long we were going for, man. We have been going for a minute or two here. A little more than a minute.
Hey, I just want to thank everybody for watching, listening, wherever you're watching or listening, and joining in with us and commenting on YouTube. It's really appreciated, and by both of us. And we just love doing this stuff.
Yeah, yes we do.
So we just wanted to, thank you so much for everybody. And if you haven't already, thumbs up the video because that helps us a lot.
Yes. As he said, if you give the video a thumbs up, if you go subscribe to the podcast, I just realized I can't play the music from my thing because I didn't arm the track before I started recording. Anyways, minor details, guys, minor details. But yeah, we really do appreciate you watching. I want you to go subscribe to the podcast if you haven't. That would be excellent. Please go hit that. There should be an annotation somewhere this way, that way.
Somewhere.
Yeah, this way, that way. Ooh. Yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. I don't look right. So go click the subscribe button. Subscribe to the audio version of this podcast. You can catch up on it later in the week. We have tons of episodes on there. We really appreciate it. Please subscribe to this channel if you're not already. If you want to see more awesome videos like this or other product videos in the future, I just put up the leaked graphite video yesterday. I put up the life-proof iPod Touch review, the life-proof case for iPod Touch 5th generation on Friday. I put that up, I believe, Friday. Yeah. So go check all those videos out, you guys. Visit macmixing.com. I got all those reviews over there. A lot of cool stuff going on. And Twitter and Facebook and everything is down in the comments section below. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. We really appreciate it. And hopefully we will see you guys next week. Yeah. We'll be back. Actually, real quick, before we get out of here, be sure to let us know. Do you want to see this podcast like this? Are Sundays good for you? Are Saturdays good for you? And let us know what time. Preferably let us know in Pacific time because I don't want to do math. So if you could, let me know what time works for you. Day, evening, morning. Hopefully not morning. Please not morning.
Yeah.
But let me know what time works for you guys, and let us know in the comments. Also, people listening audio through iTunes on this podcast, please let us know in the comment section for this podcast article. Yep. We really appreciate it.
And make sure you comment and on if you're listening on the podcast app or whatnot. Make sure you comment, rate.
Yes,
we really appreciate it. We do read those.
Yes, I read every one of them.
Yes, so
yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
I guess that's it. I don't have anything else to say.
No.
We're working on this. We're actively working on making this podcast better, this video live stream weirdness thing. So please stay with us. We're making it better. We're going to start having, hopefully soon, a way to show you what we're looking at.
Screenshot images.
I know that's possible, but the way I'm using an actual camcorder to do this so I can have better quality than a webcam. So I'm working on stepping up the quality for you guys. Thank you very much again. We really appreciate it. And we will catch you guys in the next episode. Oh, real quick. Go check out squarespace.com/macmixing and you can build a free website hassle-free. So
Hassle-free.
Enter code MacMixing9 to show your support for this channel and receive 10% off if you decide to stay. It's pretty awesome. I've been using this service for a while, and I really enjoy it. So I want you guys to go check that out. If you could, it would mean a lot to me. Squarespace.com/MacMixing. You can build a free professional website, free trial, actually. They're nice enough to hook up the viewers of this channel and the listeners of this podcast with a free trial. So check it out. It's pretty awesome. Thanks again for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. He appreciates it too, apparently.
Apparently. It's only on days that end in Y, man.
Yeah. Yes. Only on days that end in Y, which is 6 days a week.
Yes.
Yes.
Today's podcast day. Oh, wait, that does.
Oh, thoughts on iOS 7? I love it. Anyway, I just had to answer that question real quick.
Yes.
I like it. I like it a lot. So thanks again for watching, everybody.
Thank
we
you.
really appreciate it. We will catch you guys in the next episode. See you later.